So I want to make this video to basically touch on what's been going on with Mortal Kombat 1, Mk1. It's been getting a lot of criticism and a lot of hate from the fans and from people. So I just wanted to give my take on it as somebody who's been a MK fan since Mortal Kombat 2 on Sega Genesis when I was a kid. Mortal Kombat, my favorite fighting games. Um, yeah, somebody who played Mk9, 10, 11, and of course this new one. And if you haven't seen my Mk11 review, I'm gonna have that at the end. So, um, I wanted to kind of compare because I do want to say that a lot of people, which I get, is being premature about the game because I feel like you can't really rate the game or judge the game until it's complete. Because I feel like just like with Mk11 that they are going to have another aftermath expansion. They're going to add to the story and add more characters and stuff like that. So it's not a finished product. So it's kind of hard to review, but I will review it within the first, like, since the game been out the first 90 days, or it's been a little bit over 90 days. The game came out in September. So I'm going to compare it to Mk11. When it comes to Mk9 and 10, I really don't compare it because, like I said, I love Mk9. I felt like Mk9 really did reboot the series. And then that's when they start adding the guest characters and they kind of blew up more and stuff like that. But it's hard for me to compare Mk9 to Mk10 to Mk11 to Mk1 because of the graphics alone is just it's night and day. And then being able to customize your fighters now, um, like more detail, like it's real hard. Like, just like it's hard to compare a PlayStation 2 game to a PS5 game or whatever. Like it's just the technology and everything. It's just so hard to really compare the two. So I'm gonna kind of leave Mk9 to Mk10 out of this. Even though I feel like regardless, Mk11 is the best one, regardless of everything, I feel like Mk11 is the greatest fighting game of all time. That's just my personal opinion. And I put the reasons why in my review of Mk11. But anyway, I want to look at Mk11 versus Mk1 the first 100 days or so. So I do feel like Mk11 was better. The first couple months of release, like I had more fun. I played it longer. So people is right. It was some people feel like Mk1 is better, but I think most people feel like Mk11 was better. And I agree with that because what it really is that Mk11 kind of dropped the ball first off with invasions. When they announced invasions, I knew that it was going to be hit or miss. I'm like, I don't know about this mode. Like it's either gonna be real good or real bad. It ain't no in between. And it ended up being bad. It just is what it is. I feel like it's not fun. Like I played the first season or whatever, the first beginning, and when you had to get past Johnny Cage match and I made it to the second level, I think the Tarkatan army place. And then after that, I'm like, yeah, it ain't no point in playing this. And then they messed up because there's really no reason to play it. Like you don't get no like hidden brutalities or no skins that people really want. There's like really no reason to really play it like that. Like it just really boring, just being honest. And I feel like the crypt was actually better. Like at least in the crypt, you got hidden stuff and taunts and stuff that you really needed, and it was kind of fun to play. Like you kind of had to complete the crypt in order to really get stuff that you really wanted. So yeah, I feel like the crypt was better than invasions, and invasions really is not a good mode. So that's just one thing. And then of course the Towers of Time is missing. In Mk11 you had the Towers of Time to where every character you could get their taunts and certain skins and the brutality and stuff. It kind of made you play it. On this, they don't really got that. Like the extra modes, they don't really give you no reason to play it. Like, could you really not getting nothing really serious? They made it to where you can just, I guess, play and get everything, which some people like. But to me, that obviously takes away from the game and stuff to do, which gonna make it even more boring. Because all people really doing is just hopping online and just playing and ranking up their character and getting everything that they need. So it's like, they didn't give people a reason to play Invasions or any other mode. So of course that's where they fell off at. Um, I feel like this game though, like it is getting overhated. Like I do feel like it's still a good game, but I do feel like somebody said in the beginning is that I think they was making Injustice 3 and somewhere down the line they just said F it and just decided to make another Mortal Kombat game. Probably was Warner Brothers, you know, pushing NetherRealm because MK11 sold so much and did so good. When it's like when the artist drop a hit album, the record label want them to hurry up and drop another album. So I feel like that's what happened. Like they was making Justice 3, but they just scrapped it to make this game. And it shows because a lot of this stuff feel like Injustice. A lot of people that said it, a lot of moves, a lot of the animation, even the like another problem, like I feel like this game is too light. Like it's like an just game. It's not dark as like MKX, especially, and then even Mk11. Like the game feel a little bit too light. And I just get the impression that they basically switched from Injustice 3 to Mk1. So it kind of don't feel like a Mortal Kombat game in a lot of ways when you look at it. But I will say that I don't hate the game. I don't think that it's a terrible game like everybody is saying. Like I actually would probably give it a 8 out of 10, 7.5, 8 out of 10 so far, in which I gave Mk11. Um, Spoiler alert, you can just fast forward like 10 seconds right now. So I gave Mk11 a 9 out of 10, and I felt like yeah, like Mk11 was better, but of course that was the finished game. Before Aftermath, I probably would have still gave it an 8.5, 9 out of 10 because I really liked Mk11. Like I played Mk11 so much since the day that it came out. Like when I seen that you could customize your fighters and the brutalities and the graphics, I was like, man, this is ridiculous. So no, Mk11 is one of my favorite games. Like I played that up until Mk1 came out almost at one point I was playing it every day. But anyway, so I do feel like it's like a grade lower than Mk11 so far, but I still don't feel like it's a terrible game. And I'm gonna point out the good things about this game because I know people don't really point it out. And I feel like this is the best roster that MK didn't had or going had, or besides, of course, Armageddon when they just put everybody in it. But Armageddon, of course, wasn't detailed like this game to where everybody got their own moves and skins and stuff. It'd be too hard to make an Armageddon with all them people. Like that game would be out for years. But in terms of the roster, and I know there's going to be at least two more probably combat packs. And just so far as that, it's already looking good. Like they didn't put almost every ninja in it, and new Cyber, I think is the only one left, and he's supposed to be coming, and we know Ermac coming, and then they put a lot of female fighters. Like the roster is really good in this game, and I feel like when they release the next two combat packs, it's gonna be the best roster than it is. Cause I feel like that's the one area that Mk11 lacked at was the roster. Like that's why I didn't give it a 10 out of 10 because I felt like they dished the game, which they did, and everybody was thinking it was going to be one more combat pack, and then they just announced we done, we starting on the next game. So felt like they kind of dished it, and it was a lot of people missing from Mk11. So that's the only reason why I didn't give it a 10 out of 10. If the roster, like if they had Mk1 roster on Mk11, it probably would have been a 10 out of 10, like the perfect fighting game to me. But I feel like Mk1 roster is great. I feel like when it's all said and done, it's gonna be one of the best rosters. Some people hate that the cameos, and that's a big thing too. The cameos and the invasions really made or broke MK1 for real. And most people feel like it broke like invasions and most people don't like cameos. When they first announced the cameos, I didn't really care for it or like it, but I mean, it's not the worst thing. I mean, it's okay. Like they said, it's good seeing that they able to put a lot of characters in it and different combos and stuff. Like I don't hate it as much as I did when it first came out. Like most people, it's like okay now. I still wish they did, of course, had a single player mode without the cameos. I wish it was really an option to where you could really do both, but a lot of people don't like the cameos also. So that just is what it is. It's not gonna change for real. And then, of course, another bright spot, the roster. Then, of course, the graphics. Like I said, the graphics are just as good as MK11, if not better. But the graphics might be even more detailed and better than MK11 was. So that's two big areas. And like I said, the story was straight. I feel like, once they drop Aftermath, like, a part two, like they did MK11, I feel like the story gonna end up being a great story with the second half. I feel like, long as they don't mess up the second part of the story, it's gonna end up being a great story. And then so I feel like, the roster, the graphics, and the story is great. Um, and just the game modes is lackluster. Then however you feel about the cameos, and then the skins is a big thing too. Like I hate how they like you could customize less on this game. Like in MK11, you could customize your person more. You can customize the arms, the legs. Like it was more stuff. Now it is basically skins and skin patterns. So and the skin patterns is hit or misses. Some that I like. Like I like the deception skins and the vampire skins was okay, hit or miss, but it haven't been no great skins. They definitely need to release the classic skins. Like we haven't really got no classic, skins yet. Like we need the classic smoke skin, the classic rain skin for sure. So hopefully they release that. But so far the skin's just been all right. So, I'm making this because like I get what people saying, but I do feel like it is overhyped. I still able to play the game. I still enjoy playing the game. It just, a lot of stuff that they did kind of dropped the ball with. And then, of course, the desync, a lot of people was mad about that. I feel like but they said that they finally fixed it. So, hopefully people started to like it because that was a big gripe that can't nobody really, take away. Like it is what it is. Like don't nobody, people play Combat League and then the win a match and then get desync and then the match don't count. Of course that sucks. So, they messed up with that. That's a problem MK11 didn't have. And I feel like a lot of problems they've been having with releases is crazy too. That MK11 didn't have. It's like y'all expect to be better now. And then also I don't like, and I guess they have to do it. I don't know why, but I don't like how the cameos and then the character drop separate days. Like they should drop at the same time. And I know a lot of people feel that way too. Like Chameleon and Quan Chi should have dropped on the same date. Like why are they dropping separate? And they kind of like stretching and milking stuff for real. But I don't know what it takes to develop the game and where they at. But of course, that's a problem too. Like waiting a month to get the cameo is kind of dumb. But yeah, that's about it. I just wanted to give my take on it. I do feel like MK11 is better so far, but I feel like the game is kind of getting over hated a lot. I wish that people, I'm gonna give them a chance. I guess that's what I'm getting. I'm gonna wait until the combat pad is released. Of course, I feel like when Ermac and Takeda drop, a lot of people gonna come back and be happy because them the characters that people waiting on a lot to drop. So, I feel like it's gonna be good with that. And then I feel like it's still a lot to this game that they gotta add on. A lot coming to this game. It's still a lot of brutalities and fatalities that I haven't seen. Like I used like to use random select. There's still people I haven't used yet. So it's just still a lot about the game that not completed that I'm looking forward to. So I mean, I get kind of the gripes, and I do feel like MK11 was better in the beginning, but I do also feel like I do also feel like the game is good, and I'm gonna give it a chance in the end. But yeah, um, hopefully it get better. I know that NetherRealm have to be getting all of these reviews because of course I know they check their feed, and people be adding them on Twitter. And of course, I know they lost fighting game of the year to Street Fighter when Mk11 won fighting game of the year. So I know they starting to hear a lot of complaints, and it's getting to them for sure. So hopefully, the only good thing is that they actually care and gonna do stuff to change the game and make it better. Um, but some things can't be changed, and it just is what it like. They can't really change invasions. They can't get rid of the cameo. So them two things, it kind of is what it is. All they can really do is just drop all of the characters that we love and like, and try to drop better skins. That's all they really can do, and then drop the other story mode. You know, if they come out and give us all of the characters that we want and the roster that we want, well, yeah, the same thing, characters, right? If they give us the roster that we want and the story mode is good, and they start giving us good skins and they fix the desync issue, you know, I feel like it'll be a better game and people still will like it. But it's gonna be hard, I guess, to really top Mk11. But I'm still gonna keep playing it, and I want to see how it is. I'm not, like I said, I can't play Tekken and Street Fighter. To me, them games is for kids. It just is what it is. I played Tekken growing up, like Tekken Tag Tournament was one of my favorite games, but I feel like I played the demo. I've been watching people play it. Tekken just look like it just looks dumb to me. It just don't look as good as it used to look. Or maybe because I was a kid, teenager then, and you know, it was cool, but you know, it ain't really no blood, it ain't no fatalities. It's just everything is like kind of kiddish, like it, like Tekken and Street Fighter is what I would let my son play. You like it, like Tekken and Street Fighter is what I would let my son play. You know, like that's how I really feel about Tekken and Street Fighter. So Mortal Kombat's still gonna be the fighting game for me, or I'll play UFC, or some people still play the Fight Night. I play that every now and then. Like, you know, I'd play something like that if I want fighting or action. But yeah, you know, it's the fighting game for me. It's still better than Tekken and Street Fighter. So that's my opinion and my review of Mk1 so far, and what I think about it, and going forward, what I could see happening.